Hey everyone, Ethan here, back with another video, and this is again another channel update, which yes, I know it's the second one in like 2 weeks. I usually don't do them except for like monthly, but I have a lot of news to talk about, as well as why I've been gone, which the news is related to, so I figured I would go ahead and just make another one for this Monday upload. But next Monday you can expect to see some other content. So a lot of you have probably noticed that there has been literally nothing on WordTech or WordTech Gaming for the last week, and I actually want to go ahead and explain why that is. So first I'll say there was no wordcast because I was not here at home. I was out dog sitting for a family member, and I did not have proper lighting and stuff like that over there. So that's why wordcast did not happen, unfortunately. I'm going to be getting some mobile lights and stuff so that when I do go places like that, I'm going to be able to start doing it there, because I hate to miss that. And then there were no video uploads from me that week because I've been working on a whole lot of back-end stuff, as well as just been really busy with some life stuff that's been going on. And Mirko has also been very busy, so you didn't see a video from him on Friday either. Now, to get to what I've been working on personally is actually, again, I've still been working on the website, gathering up some writers and stuff like that. I've already been making a few more like test posts, little tiny news posts on the site. Totally check that out in the description if you guys are interested in seeing the website. But there'll be more consistent content on there very soon. But the biggest thing I've actually been working on is basically setting up my workflow better so that I can get videos out quicker, which is something I've really been trying to figure out the best possible way to have remote rendering done for the videos, so that I can do my editing on my main machine and then have something else render in the background so that I can basically multitask. And I'm working on building some systems dedicated to that, as well as a new Ryzen 8 core system, which will be for editing and gaming. I will be making a dedicated video of that of course, but that is probably a month or two away from now, maybe less if I'm lucky. Now, the other main thing I've been working on is actually a new way of tracking benchmarks, because as a lot of you have probably noticed or even noted that we don't do a lot of benchmarks on this channel yet. And it's not that, you know, I don't know how to do them or I don't know how to do graphs or anything like that. I've just been really trying to figure out myself the best way that I want to track benchmarks, because I have a huge problem with the way that a lot of different other channels and news sites and stuff like that do their benchmark tracking. So what we're going to be doing differently instead versus the other companies is we're actually going to be doing a more realistic real-world benchmark test. So rather than a fresh install of Windows with nothing else running other than the tracking software for like frames per second or something like that, as well as the actual benchmark software, we're going to have things running in the background that represent a more average real-world workload for all of our benchmarks. So also, sometimes our benchmarks will not be done on a clean copy of Windows, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a second. But basically what we'll be doing is we're going to be selecting 5 tabs on Chrome to be open. 4 of them will be just basic websites for like reading news or whatever it may be, our website as well as potentially some others. I will be talking about that. That'll be in any benchmarks that you see, and I'll get to that in a second, actually, how we're going to be presenting what we are doing the benchmarks on. Now, also, one of those tabs, the 5th tab, will be a YouTube video running at 1080p in the background that will be running while we run the benchmark. Now, the reason for this being is I feel like it's very rare that a person sees uses their PC in such a clean environment. And while it does help with apples to apples comparisons in order to have, everything as clean as possible, fresh install of Windows, nothing else running, does give you a better comparison between other components. I don't think it really gives you a comparison to what kind of real world information you would be seeing, what kind of real world results you'd be seeing if you were, say, rendering or you were doing gaming or something like that, while a more common workload was going on. Now, of course, some of you may be wondering, this will of course affect synthetic benchmarks, which are designed specifically for apples to apples comparisons, and we will still be doing those benchmarks, but those more synthetic based benchmarks will actually be done with the applications closed down. So it's just things like render times and gaming and stuff like that will actually be done with applications loaded up like Chrome and potentially something else in the background. Again, all of that will be published on a page, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But that's going to represent a more real world workload for a real world scenario test versus a synthetic, which was going to be as clean as possible. Now, to get to why we might not be doing clean installs on Windows is, well, first off, I don't want to reinstall Windows every time I do benchmarks, because a lot of them are going to be on my personal machines, because I don't have a test bed yet, because I don't get a lot of product in yet to do massive benchmarking on. But the second reason for that is that, again, is about representing the real world workload. And in real life, sure, they go ahead and people test with a fresh install of Windows 10, fresh drivers, etc., etc., etc. But realistically, a lot of us have, 10, 20, 30 applications, maybe even more installed running on our, on our systems, not running in the background, but I just mean installed. And so those applications will be remaining installed on there. Same with our storage and stuff like that, to basically represent what a person would be seeing more realistically if they were actually playing a game or rendering or something like that when we do tests like that. So that's going to be for, basically representing to you guys what you'll actually see out of the hardware that you're going to be purchasing. Now, all of this will be represented in graphs, of course, but there will also be links to our actual or a full information detail page that we'll be posting, and there'll either be links to that or there'll be a full image post if it's something that we post on the website. That'll actually just be a Word document that will actually have a full list of what applications were installed on the system, what applications were running, the dates of everything, as well as we will have our testing methodology listed in there. And then we'll list what is, running for certain benchmarks. So when we do the synthetics, we'll show that, nothing's running, but we'll still list what's installed. That way you guys know exactly what system, how much kind of stuff is installed on the system that we are actually going to be doing the benchmark on. Now, of course, again, everything else is going to be shut down other than a more realistic workload, because like I have tons of stuff running on my computer in the background. All of that will be shut down just with those 5 tabs and potentially something else that I may be adding into there, which will all be listed in that Word document with the testing methodology. Now, this will be consistent throughout as many tests as we can do for as long of a period as we can do, the same tabs, the same everything, but I feel like it represents a better real world workload, and then that way you guys can more easily tell exactly what applications we're using and maybe compare it directly to your system a little more closely. So I figured that was a unique way to do some of the benchmarking, so that's kind of the big thing. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have recommendations on how I should maybe do the benchmarking differently, but of course, so far I've been spending a lot of time on this, and I think that's the best way to record the data. Now, I also want to make a really quick announcement just so the people watching not on Facebook know, is all our videos are actually going to be getting uploaded to Facebook now. Anything that's over an hour long, like Wordcast that we do every Wednesday, will be uploaded in multi-sections because Facebook only allows 45-minute videos. But from here on out, everything will actually be uploaded there as well. Of course, I prefer you stay on YouTube. That's just to really reach another audience. But the link to our Facebook page is going to be in the description. You're welcome to go like it, follow us, all that kind of stuff. Now, moving on to the website and what's been going on there. So as many of you know, I've been working on getting a team of writers together. In fact, I already listed the team of writers we have, but we're trying to get more specific subjects for those writers so that they can write things about something that they can follow and track over time rather than just random news articles. So we're trying to make things a little bit more specific there, but very soon, I would guess within 2 to 3 weeks, you should start seeing consistent daily news content and potentially detailed reviews on there shortly after that. So definitely check out our website, subscribe to us via email. Now, the last thing I actually want to talk about in this channel update here is a few upcoming reviews and projects that I have going on. So the first one is actually going to be this guy right over here. This is my new monitor. It's just an AOC basic monitor. It's an IPS panel. I got it for pretty cheap, so I'll be talking about that in the video, doing a full review of it. Pretty impressed for the price, but no spoilers here. The other thing that I will be doing is actually I have a Leon Lee wall-mounted PC06S, which is their wall-mounted all aluminum tempered glass PC case, and I'm going to be doing a review on that. Been pretty impressed with that, and that's where my new Ryzen system is actually going to be going in. So I'll be doing a review on that case shortly thereafter. And I also have a new build that'll be coming up fairly soon. This will be happening after the Ryzen PC is finished, so that build video will be coming first. But I'm going to be building a dedicated rendering machine and streaming machine for all of the content that I've been doing here. And so it's just going to be an 8-core system designed specifically to do remote network rendering as well as streaming. I might try and set up streaming in 4K, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But definitely 1080p 60 streaming will be the norm once I get that set up. And the very last order of business, of course, is actually going to be, we have new outro segments for our videos, which you should be seeing at the end of this video here, but basically just a dedicated outro for the different channels and the different locations that those channels are on. So that's just a little bit of information I figured I would share with you guys. Something a lot of you might not even notice, but that's pretty much it. Hey YouTube, I hope you guys just enjoyed the video that you just watched, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, click the little notification thing next to subscribe once you subscribe so that you don't miss any of our updates. That way you get properly notified every time we upload a video. Feel free to leave a comment, as well as check out any of our stuff in the description there. We've got social media links, we've got links to the website, as well as our forums. Feel free to post whatever you like in the forums. And of course, our Patreon page is also down there if you guys are interested in supporting the channel directly with a monthly contribution. The Patreon page is a great place to do that. It's just a small monthly payment, $1, $3, $10,000, whatever you feel like doing. Definitely just pulls it out monthly and gives it to us. Patreon, of course, takes a small cut, but basically that's just a way of supporting the channel directly if you guys like the content that we are producing. And I just want to say thank you everybody for watching, and thank you to all current Patreon subscribers. It's definitely awesome to have some of you guys on board with that, and we really appreciate it here at WordTech. Hope you all have a wonderful day.